Kevin Durant is absolutely justified from his departure from OKC, joining the 73-9 Golden State Warriors team, and I am not here for any Kevin Durant slander whatsoever. Now look, before I even get into this video, I know that this is going to be one of my most criticized videos. I know this is a very controversial topic as well, and most people do not agree with the statement that Kevin Durant is justified by joining the Golden State Warriors, forming a super team. It was a 73-9 team, the greatest regular season team of all time. Eventually lost to LeBron and the Cavaliers. They blew a 3-1 lead. OKC blew a 3-1 lead. We know the story. But I wholeheartedly believe that Kevin Durant was absolutely justified in joining the Golden State Warriors. So let's stop wasting time, man. Let's hop right into this video, though. I want to begin by the narrative that Kevin Durant joining the 73-9 Golden State Warriors basically canceled the entire league. And yes, while that is true, let's not act like similar situations like this have not been done, at least in recent history as well. Now look, the most obvious, easy example to compare Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors to is going to be LeBron James leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers to go and form a super team with the Miami Heat. Now look, the Miami Heat were not the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. They did not go and win a bunch of championships except for D-Wade and Shaq back when he was in his heyday. But the point of the matter is that LeBron James, being the best player in basketball at the time, leaving his situation, leaving his organization that he had been drafted to, had played with, and he leaves for South Beach, joins D-Wade and Chris Bosh, and forms a super team. That Miami Heat team would not have beaten this Golden State Warriors team with Kevin Durant. I am not making that argument, but it's on the same level of leaving your organization to form a super team nonetheless. So when people say that Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors is a completely different situation than LeBron James leaving for South Beach to form a super team with the Miami Heat is absolutely incorrect. That is the exact same thing. Sure, there are levels to it. As I said, that Golden State Warriors team was already the greatest regular season of all time. They had already advanced to the finals and won, and joining Kevin Durant onto that team essentially makes them unbeatable. There's probably no team in NBA history that is beating Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant on the same team. But nonetheless, they formed a super team. The Miami Heat form a super team. It is the exact same comparison, but little bit different of levels when you compare the two. Now, let's talk about the Western Conference Finals back in 2016. Obviously, this is before Kevin Durant actually makes his departure for the Golden State Warriors. Let's say for argumentative sake that they advance to the NBA Finals. In my eyes, Kevin Durant still leaves the Oklahoma City Thunder organization regardless if they advance to the NBA Finals or not. And it's not because they lose to the Golden State Warriors, which they clearly did. It's the fact of the matter that Russell Westbrook has been a sole purpose of the problems in OKC during his time there. And look at Russell Westbrook now, no matter where he goes, he is clearly a big part of the problem. Kevin Durant, of course, did not have the team around him necessary to win, and we all know Kevin Durant is a top 2, top 3 player, one of the greatest offensive threats this game has ever seen, and a future Hall of Famer. But I'm not letting Russell Westbrook and the organization off the hook for Kevin Durant's lack of success. Sure, of course you have to put some of that blame on Kevin Durant when he's been the franchise player and the 1A for that team for years and years and years. But my point is, Russell Westbrook, let's look at him for example. Russell Westbrook does not want to be option number 2. He has never had that mentality. Back when OKC lost to the Miami Heat back in 2011, 2012, correct me if I'm wrong, in the NBA Finals, look, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, Kevin Durant, these guys were all still puppies. James Harden and Russell Westbrook were not these prolific MVP superstar caliber players like they were back in the day, like they actually are now. So you can't even make that fair comparison. Of course, LeBron James and that team is probably going to win that series as they did. But Russell Westbrook, ever since he developed into the MVP player, he has never wanted to be 1B, second option. He's never wanted to be the Robin to the Batman. Russell Westbrook has clearly been the most overrated superstar this game has ever seen. From his triple doubles, from his lack of success, his not playing crunch time basketball smartly, and we see that in the Western Conference Finals countless times and times again. You see that throughout playoff history with Russell Westbrook, him folding under pressure, not making the correct plays time and time again, which is why I believe Kevin Durant would have left the organization regardless if they had advanced to the finals or not. Look at Russell Westbrook ever since Kevin Durant has departed from the OKC Thunder. We see in 2017, Russell Westbrook wins the MVP, averages a triple-double. They're bounced in the first round. Second year, He is bounced in the first round with Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and that team. They lose to Joe Ingles, Ricky Rubio, and a rookie, and Donovan Mitchell. They get absolutely cooked. Let's advance to the next year. They lose to Damian Lillard on that bad shot in the first round again. So Russell Westbrook does not make it out of the first round, but he goes and teams up with James Harden, his old buddy. They are great friends, but on the court, Russell Westbrook does not want to be option number 2. That is the problem. And Russell Westbrook's already not a great three-point shooter in a three-point base shooting system with Mike D'Antoni and James Harden. And then on top of all of that, you get Russell Westbrook being bounced out in the second round. They lose 4-1. They get gentlemen swept by the Los Angeles Lakers. They honestly could have lost that series to the OKC Thunder. Of course, it went 7 games. Smart, high IQ basketball. And of course, we see it in 2016 in the Western Conference Finals time and time again. Game 6, on their home floor, we see Klay Thompson go berserk, hitting 11 threes, having one of the most historic shooting nights in NBA history. But Russell Westbrook in that game folds. He's creating turnovers. He's missing shots. He is causing the team to fold under pressure. And look, of course you have to blame Kevin Durant for some of their lack of success, especially in game 5, 6, and 7 when they blew that 3-1 lead. But Russell Westbrook is the problem with that team. Back to the organization, you cannot put this on Kevin Durant wholeheartedly. Look, the organization never built the right floor spacing team for Kevin Durant to be successful. They're relying on Kevin Durant to basically do everything. Now look, I'm not acting like Serge Ibaka's a scrub and Russell Westbrook's a scrub. That's not what I'm saying. But when you actually build a legitimate team with your franchise and 2 franchise players, you need floor spacing in today's modern NBA, especially versus the Golden State Warriors, and they never did that. You look at some guys on their team. You got Steven Adams, not a floor spacer. Serge Ibaka, sure, he can space the floor. But Serge Ibaka at the time is not like the most lethal three-point shooter in the NBA. Russell Westbrook, not a floor spacer. Anthony Marr, Randy Foye, who really cares? And the rest of their team is basically a bunch of nobodies for the most part, okay? I'm not sitting here disrespecting Dion Waiters and Enes Kanter, but come on. These guys aren't it. So I blame the organization wholeheartedly for not building the right team around Kevin Durant. Look at Kevin Durant when he goes and gets a team that has floor spacing. With the Golden State Warriors, they go and win. I know no one's beating that team, but that's besides the point. He has floor spacing. Look at the Brooklyn Nets before they trade for James Harden. Karis LeVert and Joe Harris. We say Dinwiddie's out for the year, but that's besides the point. He has floor spacing. He has the availability to where if he drives the lane, people can't just collapse on him. Then he can kick out to shooters. Kevin Durant can succeed with floor spacing, and I know that's the case for a lot of NBA superstars. That's why Giannis needs shooters around him. But Kevin Durant is the one who gets criticized the most, and I do not blame him whatsoever. Go back and watch the film, watch the tape of that Western Conference Finals. Like I said, I'm not letting Kevin Durant off the hook completely, but the organization and Russell Westbrook are most to blame for OKC's lack of success, not just with Kevin Durant there. Look at OKC even when Kevin Durant leaves. Russell Westbrook is the problem with that organization and has been. He was a problem in Houston. He's a problem in Washington. Of course, he's going to have more opportunities in Washington with Bradley Beal, where he can be number 1, I guess, 1B with Bradley Beal. But the Wizards are a much worse team, so of course Russell Westbrook's going to shine. Russell Westbrook and the organization are the reasons to blame for Kevin Durant's departure to the Golden State Warriors. I do not blame him whatsoever for joining the team. The Golden State Warriors gave him the best opportunity to win. They welcome him with open arms. Like, people want to clown the Golden State Warriors dynasty for drafting Steph Curry the right way, drafting Klay Thompson, drafting Draymond Green, building a system and a dynasty the correct way, the Popovich way, and developing your players. But then Kevin Durant wants to join your team on a 2-year, $54 million deal with a player option for the 3rd year. And then you're going to be like, you know what? No, we don't want you, Kevin Durant. That's going to make the league uncompetitive. Of course you're going to take Kevin Durant when he wants to join your team. You're basically replacing Harrison Barnes, a solid guy at best, with a lethal top 3 player in the NBA and Kevin Durant. Of course you're going to take Kevin Durant. Of course Kevin Durant's going to want to join your team and at least get the respect that he deserves. The reason he joined the Brooklyn Nets was because he realized after his 2 finals MVPs and his 2 championships with the Golden State Warriors, people are not going to wholeheartedly give him the respect that he deserves. So you know what? He's going to go team up with Kyrie. He did not expect James Harden to join him. That is out of his control at the end of the day. Yes, he maybe wanted James Harden to join the team. And look, I think the Nets are going to win the chip. That's a topic for another day. But Kevin Durant was going to prove to everybody that he can win without a super team now that he has floor spacing, and the Brooklyn Nets are going to win the championship. Kevin Durant is going to get the respect that he deserves, and Kevin Durant will go down as a top 10 player of all time. I have no problems whatsoever with Kevin Durant leaving the OKC Thunder, joining the Golden State Warriors, because it is the exact same thing as other players in NBA history joining teams to form a super team. Even though this is the greatest super team we've ever seen, other players have done it. LeBron is, of course, the most recent example of that. We see guys like Paul George and Kawhi getting together, but those are all different. Kevin Durant is completely justified. I know that is a very unpopular opinion, but I have no problems whatsoever with Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the love and support that you guys bring to me, especially here on YouTube and on TikTok as well. I'm going to link to those down in the description as well. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe as well. It only takes a moment and it helps me and the channel out a lot. Now look, I understand that this was a very unpopular opinion, but if you guys like what I had to say and you understand where I'm coming from, I appreciate if you drop a like. And if you don't like this video and you don't like what I had to say, that's fine. Go leave a hate comment, go dislike. But I really wholeheartedly believe this, and I think Kevin Durant is justified. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out, boys. Peace!